Versatile Mage. Chapter 49. Crushing using wisdom. Die, Mo Fan yelled, and the fireball in his hands was thrown skyward. An eye-dazzling fireball rose toward the roof, instantly lighting up the dark cavern. It revealed both the ferocious magical beast and the fire caster's image. The spirit wolf raised its gaze. In its vicious scarlet pupils flashed a trace of suspicion. Was this human scared to the point of becoming a fool? Why were the flames flying toward the ceiling? The spirit wolf was paralyzed by the lightning strike, standing in one place and unable to move. In this situation, hitting it with a flame burst, burning bones would be far too easy, like striking a wooden doll used for practice. However, Mo Fan did something that made the spirit wolf feel he was a complete fool. Mo Fan was smiling with his mouth open. The light from the fire illuminated his fanatical grin. Boom! Fire burst. Burning flames fell from the air like a shooting star, striking the root of a stalactite. The flames from burning bones were not useless just because the target was a rock. The internal combustion instantly heated the slender root of the stalactite until it glowed red-hot. Gurgle tilde. A single second was enough for flames capable of burning bones into ashes to melt the stalactite's root away. The stalactite was massive. Once it snapped from the heat and its own weight, it turned into a giant stalactite spear falling from the highest point of the cavern. At first, the spirit wolf felt only contempt and suspicion. But when it realized the massive stalactite was directly above its head, panic flashed in its eyes. "I won't bother seeing you out." Mo Fan slowly retracted the hand that had cast the fire burst, smiling coldly. That's right, lightning strike could only restrict its movements, and burning bones could not kill it. But this father, I, will use wisdom to crush you. The colossal stone sword slammed down into the spirit wolf's back, piercing through its abdomen and nailing it to the ground. Blood poured from the wound, mixing with broken stalactite fragments until a large pool formed beneath the beast. The spirit wolf remained standing, unable even to collapse. Its scarlet pupils gradually faded back to green as the last seconds of its life passed. It turned its head to look at the stalactite impaling it, then glanced at the insignificant human. Other than disbelief, there was nothing left in its eyes. Its arrogant dignity was gone, replaced by weakness so great it could not even struggle. Life faded away, at the hands of a mere tiny magician. A whistling sound echoed. A wild wind rushed in from the cave entrance. The students, covered in bruises and wounds, weakly raised their heads. A man descended from the sky. On his back was a massive pair of wings formed from condensed wind spirits, blocking their view. Wind wings. Mubai, who had finally regained consciousness, stared in disbelief. It's Chief Military Instructor. Heavens, am I seeing an angel? The entire mountain entrance was astonished. They had guessed Chief Instructor Zhangkong was extremely powerful, but never imagined he was a high-ranked mage capable of controlling wind wings. Wind wings, a spell that allowed a person to genuinely fly like an angel. Zhangkong glanced at the group of students, noting they were not in immediate danger, then turned toward the cavern where a loud echo had come from. I hope the student who used burning bones is still alive. Without hesitation, the massive wind wings flapped, launching him forward like an arrow deeper into the cave. Ragged stones were flung aside by his force. Zhangkong passed through the long tunnel in stunning fashion before arriving at the spacious cavern bottom. Fire burst. Rupture. Floating in the dark cavern, Zhangkong formed a fireball in his grip. He tossed it into the air, where it erupted like a gorgeous firework, illuminating the entire cavern. Zhangkong scanned the area, hoping the spirit wolf retained enough intellect to let the student called Mo Fan survive. That was why he didn't try to save mana. He wanted to find the student immediately. The fiery light brightened the cavern, and in the next second, Zhangkong froze in shock. The chief instructor floated there, brown eyes wide with disbelief. How could this be possible? On the stone platform, the summoner Bai Yang sat with a frantic expression, praying Boss Zhangkong would arrive in time. Fatal, Chen Weiliang lay on the ground, completely weak. If a student died during this practical, he would be fully responsible. The country placed great importance on magic students. Even the tyrant of Bo City, Mu Juoyan, would not dare to harm them. Tang Yu bit her lip. She thought back to when she had joked with Mo Fan about using a locator to retrieve his dead body, but she had never imagined the day would come so soon. Tang Yu had been interested in Mo Fan. On one hand, she felt this student had another secret besides his growth-type Stardust magic tool. On the other, she believed he had great potential and wanted to see how far he could go. What a pity. Bai Yang, just what happened? How could your summoned beast suddenly go mad? Even if burning bones hurt it, there's no reason for you to lose control. Luo Yunbo scolded. For a summoner, the basics were controlling their own summoned beast. I don't know. Normally, even if it were to be killed, it wouldn't slaughter students without my command. I really don't know why this happened, Bai Yang stammered. This made no sense. Bai Yang had never imagined a student could use burning bones to suppress his summoned beast. Even less had he expected to lose control of it for that reason. There had to be something more to it. You'd better pray your lost beast doesn't kill too many people, Pan Lijin said coldly. I also, Bai Yang suddenly cried out in pain. It felt as if his soul had been hacked apart. His face turned pale as cold sweat poured down. What now? Luo Yunbo demanded impatiently. My spirit wolf, my spirit wolf. Bai Yang suddenly looked soulless, collapsing to his knees, eyes empty as he stared toward the cavern. What happened? Tang Yu asked, frowning. She had no idea what was going on with Bai Yang. My spirit wolf, it died. Bai Yang finally forced the words out, still sounding as if he couldn't believe them himself. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.